Hi, we're the McCleary's. I'm Stacy McCleary, and it's my wife, Danelle.
Well, I came to Refuge Church because God sent me my lifetime soulmate.
Uh, when I was born here in Manteca, and my mom attended this church. So from probably when I was a week old, I started coming here, and that's where I've been ever since.
For me, being in the church was feeling the presence of God in the church and the opportunity to have a personal relationship with His Holy Spirit.
For me, this church has been my life. I didn't know anything else. Like I said, it's just as I have memories of being just a young boy, running up and down the hallways and we had stairs back in Axel Hall, and I was scooped down it. So I had good memories, and that's all I know as this being my church. It's part of my life.
This church is my extended family, and through that, I have been mentored by people in this church, and I have received prayers that have covered my family in ways that have been miraculous, and I'm very fortunate for that.
I feel this church, I believe in the local church. I believe that we need a church family. We can have our relationship with God at our home, but it's important that we come out and meet together corporately. There's power in corporate prayer, corporate meeting, worship together. So that's why I come here, because of the other my fellow Christians that are here. You know, that we can they can pray for me, they can hold me up, my family, I could tell them, and it's just a good place to be.
God has answered my prayers as a young Christian woman, receiving my soulmate. God sent me, which, I never knew to pray for or anything. And I have prayed for that for my children, and all three of my children, God brought them Christian soulmates. And that's probably one of the biggest blessings I could ever ask for.
I could talk a long time here. I've been blessed my whole life. That my biggest thing that God has done for me, my biggest by far, was when one of my injuries, I got killed. Just to put it short, I'd fallen off the scaffolding and hurt my shoulder, and because of that, and after surgery, when we met with the surgeon wrote down on his paper that the surgery was a failure, that I'd never lift my arm again. This was my right arm, and I asked him, I go, "You mean I'll be one arm the rest of my life?" And he said, "Yes." And I could not believe that report from the doctor, So anyway, and God it took 6 months. 6 months I went with just having my one arm, but the whole time I knew that I would be healed, because God gave me a peace, even though I only had my left arm. God gave me a peace, and it was 6 months, and God just in the middle of the night. It was a Sunday night too. We had a good church that night, and people had prayed for me down at the altar, and but it was in the middle of the night. I woke up with my shoulder being very warm, and I stood up I actually raised my arm up over my head, laying in bed, which I had never been able to do, and stood up and raised my arm up. So that was by far just, when people don't believe in God, believe in healing, well, they need to come and talk to me, because it happened. So that was my biggie. I've been in this church, of course, for over 63 years now, and I'm more excited right now what we're doing in this church and what's going to be happening this year and the years to come. I feel that we are in a really good place. God is opening up here. This church, I've got a lot of fond memories of this church from years ago when I was a kid and stuff, but boy, I'll tell you, the best is yet to come.